What's going on, everyone? Train Freak here, and today I've got a special train. And this train was built by our very own in the community, known as Nathan DeLay. And he asked that I pull this very special train with my cab forward steam locomotive. So we got a couple of shots of it pulling the special cars that he made. However, before we get to the cars that he made me, I also wanted to be able to pull this locomotive, and it's probably his first cab forward locomotive he ever built, of a locomotive that actually was nicknamed the Freak. And then of course I have another little locomotive that I won on a contest he did on Sparky's channel. So I put those in a couple of gondolas, but now you can see the train that he built me. I honestly had no clue this was coming until he emailed me saying, "Hey, I sent you some cars." And he sent me like an image of what the cars look like, and I'm like, that's pretty cool. And then of course he came out with the video. So I encourage you to check his channel out if you haven't had the chance to do so, and he shows how he made those cars. Now, as the train continues to go through downtown Wiener, I'm going to go ahead and mention to you about our layout update today. Is going to include a little bit of the building of Juicy J's Meat Company, but it's also going to include some scenery that I've done as well. I have planted more trees. I have also put in some animals, which we will get to. And I even added my first Woodland Scenics pre-lit vehicle over by the community barn. And this scene is going to be about wrapped up. So, if you're curious to see what I've been working on and what lays ahead in the future, I highly encourage you to stay tuned as we finish watching Nathan's special train go by, and I will show you what all I have worked on. Alright, so let's start off with the shack sit. So this is what I ended up doing. I originally had cork here, and then there was like nothing back there. So what I did was I kind of measured out a piece of scrap masonite. This actually came off the old layout. It was part of the backdrop around that bottom peninsula, and it had a little bit of plaster and stuff on it, so I had to sand it down. But this is going to get repainted anyway, so that's why it's painted blue. And that was before I was going to put that photo backdrop in. But I wanted a piece of masonite for my building to sit on, because I'm probably going to end up cutting a lot of this cork out. And you can see that I've got some of my track pulled up since our last operating session. And that's because I did the same thing over here. I put in a huge piece of masonite for what's going to be Juicy J's Meat Company. And I forgot, so I actually have two pieces here. I actually ended up cutting the first piece and realized, oh, I should have had a little extra, because your foundation, doesn't have to always be the exact dimensions of the building. Kind of like here, I've got a little extra all the way around, and that way I can get the plaster and kind of make like a hillside, like I've done for Gamer and Thrones over on the other side of the layout, which we'll get over there in a minute. Juicy J's Meat, I've been working on the building, and it's still in construction, but I did get the this is just black foam core. That's what ITLA suggested. And I glued it using Aleene's Turbo Tacky Glue. But as far as gluing the actual MDF pieces together, I used this very sparingly, but Gorilla Wood Glue. And so this is what it looks like on the side. And so just so that way you know, of course this is higher, so you got one modules here, right? And so this is actually 2 floors. Now the reason why the bottom is all bricked, and that's because there's going to be a track on the other side of that. So we'll have some reefer cars going into this facility. But right here we're going to have a single floor go 6 inches. Each module is 3 inches wide. And then over here for the third module, it'll actually go up 4 floors. So I wanted a building that was not just a rectangular box. I wanted a little bit of complex to it. This is going to be the fire escape here. And it's not totally square. Actually this piece here is not even glued in. So this one is, and I might have to break it a little loose and try to square it up some, but yeah, we'll have windows going in here and then doors there, and then I'll have a fire escape ladder system on the front. The only thing I need to do is come back with a fine paintbrush and paint the door frames. Probably going to paint them black. I think black would be a good color for that, so that's what I'll end up doing there. And then some of the other things, I went ahead and did the trim on one just to kind of see how it works. So that's with the trim added on to cover up these seams. And then of course I'll have trim going on the corner sections as well. So making some progress here. And hopefully I should have maybe, no guarantees, but maybe have this half of the building. This is only half. 15 inches wide here. There's going to be another 15 inches over here. And so really the building's probably going to set, further over here. And like I said, another 15 inches here. So we'll have one track that goes into the building. It will be big enough for 2 40-foot reefer cars. And then the other side of the building is going to have an overhang, kind of like the shack of sit here. And it will also be able to spot 2 40-foot boxcars or a single 50-foot boxcar. The difference in the overhang for the shack of sit and for GCJ's is shack of sit's only got 2 doors. Under the overhang, this one's going to have 3. So the middle one will be for 50-foot boxcars, and then the 2 on the outer side of the middles will be for the 40-foot boxcars. So that's kind of where I'm at over on this side. So let's go look at some of the scenery stuff that I have been working on. Alright, looks like we got snow on the layout. Actually, it's just plaster. So if you remember previously, there's this huge lip here because of the, the cork road bed, and then of course this re-railer that I'm using as a grade crossing. And so I had to build, some elevation to get up to it. Let's see if we can get down lower. There we go. So, and the way I did it is, it's just like how I do all of my plaster jobs. So I'm going to angle the camera over here. I've got aluminum window screen that I folded up and created an elevation with, and I used plaster of Paris and poured it in. And of course this will get painted. It'll get painted the same color as this, which is PPG Ponytail. And just like I was talking about earlier, here's the plaster I was telling you about, butting up to the masonite that I like to put my buildings on. So, alright, so that was one of the things I got done. Over here I did get some wood pieces glued in. I need to get a few more so that way I can start looking at contouring my heels with more of the aluminum window screen. But the big project I got done, and I got to thank my wife Amanda for helping me with this, we got trees in. She actually made some trees. Now, I had a whole bunch of armatures already painted and dry brushed with a little bit of gray paint, to kind of simulate, some of that shading of the bark. But we did not have any trees in the layout. Now, this one was already made, this big one here, and then that big one there. That came from the last batch, which came from those over there. And I will put a card up in the corner of the screen so that way you can see how I made these. But these are Scenic Express Super Trees with the super leaves. And I mean, they look so good. And of course I use 3 different colors. So right here you can see the 3 different shades that I use. And it kind of gives a good blend into the backdrop. Because not every tree's leaves are the same shade. So got that. And then as far as, you know, I use some of the scrap pieces to make like bigger bushes. Now some of this stuff in here is Woodland Scenic's underbrush and their bushes, which I mean really more like shrubs than anything, but yeah, it is what it is. I did get some deer put in, got a mom and a fawn back down in there as well, and got a big old buck here jumping. So someone mentioned that I should try to find a hunter. I might try to do that, maybe post a deer stand up somewhere. That might be pretty cool to do. But I think as far as the deer stand goes, it might be too close to the road, too close to the building, and too close to the track. So I don't know. If I do, I might put him back up in the woods in there. Sometimes the things on my layout that I like to do is hide it to where you really have to look to see what's going on. Because if it's just out in the open, it doesn't make it as exciting. Alright, so I did some wiring too. So we knew that the street lamp was in there, but it's actually lit now. And then I added that car, and you can see the headlights on it, and the tail lights are on too, but you really can't see the tail lights in the camera until the layout lights are off. So let's see if I can do this. I'm going to try to shade that one lamp there, see if you can see the, yeah, you can see it a little bit. So got that. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've done. You know, scenery wise, just getting these trees put in place, and you know, ever since John got his road done, and I look at it this way, from the track to the wall, from here this way, is completely done for where I want it. I mean, it's, to me, it's a great view. And if you get kind of more eye level, let's see if we can get you more eye level. Here you go. I mean, it's a really, really neat scene. Looking back until you see where, you know, I got to get the snow covered. And of course, I got to get grass and stuff all up in here too. And don't forget, we got a track that will continue this way as well. So, because this is actually feeding 3 industries. We're going to have 3 industries over here. Gamer and Thrones. We're going to have a cooperage. Don't really know what the name of it's going to be yet. But they make barrels. And then a scrapyard. So, but yeah. So as far as future projects go, I will have to make some more trees. I still got a couple of boxes of the super trees left. Some of them I'm going to have to straighten out with a wood burning tip. It is what it is on those. And then get those painted, get them flocked, and we'll get a few more trees back in over there. I'm thinking about some of this short stuff here, putting some of that up in here. I just don't want to leave that totally bare, and I might even put some stuff a little bigger than that. Maybe the size of this short dark one there, you know, put some of those up in here too, because I want it to look like some areas you really can't see the train. Like, I don't want the trains to be seen through 100% of the front of the layout, because, you know, the train should be going through scenery, especially as it gets away from the front edge and starts curving back. You know, we want to make it look like the trains are coming out of, you know, other places. And so that was the whole purpose of why, you know, the trains that go into staging go behind the backdrop. Is we don't want staging as part of the actual visual of the layout. So, But that's kind of, you know, where I'm going to go at future on that. Maybe try to refigure this road a little bit, swing it out some. It's just basically a private drive straight to Gamer and Thrones. So, and I think John is wanting to help with that as well. I mean, he did a fantastic job on that road back there, so I might just be like, hey, dude, why don't you do this one too? As far as over here, I'm going to have to find me a static grass applicator. I'm still trying to figure out which one to go with. I'm hearing lots of good things of different manufacturers, so I'm not sure which route I'm going to go, because I want to use some static grass to kind of blend up to that rice field there. So use some of that, and then have a ditch and then re-road it. I'm probably going to take this masonite here where Riceland's out, put in a bigger section, so that way I can, you know, do my road and elevate it and whatnot. So, and then of course the whole town of Wiener needs to be elevated as well. All that masonite back there is all temporary stuff. So, but that's going to be future down the road. I got to talk to my signal guy about getting some signals back in there, and then of course I'm going to need a signal for this area, the layout that hasn't been built over here, and it's going to be like this. It's going to be a single head, but one head on this side, one head on that side. So it's going to be one of those that just separates two blocks, and then try to work that way as well, you know. So this is going to be my primary focus, including continuation of the building of Juicy J's Meat Company. So, all right, well, other than that, that's all I've got for you as far as this week's update. Thank you again, Nathan, for that really cool train that you have surprisingly given me. I had no clue that was coming, but I do want to say thank you. I think it's really, really neat, and I do plan on running it from time to time. You know, why not? I mean, it's really cool, and then when I'm not running it, it's going to have its own little display shelf. So that way everyone will be able to get to see it, you know, during my live streams and whatnot, you know, in the future. So I will have that. And also, if you haven't already, you know, and you like what you see as far as my content goes, make sure you hit that subscribe button, fill in the bell, so that way you get, you know, future notifications, and thumbs up always helps. It gets it out there to other people, you know, who might not have found my channel yet. So, and then again, thank you to all of the extended supporters that have gone above and beyond just subscribing and filling in the bell and thumbs upping. And that would be to those who are my channel members, those who are my Patreon members, people who have purchased things off of Teespring, and those who have you know, sent, you know, random donations here and there through paypal.me. So, and if you're interested in looking into that, look in the description below. It's got it all down there. But, you know, if you can't do it, hey, that's fine too. So, I'm not in here to look to make money. I'm just in here to, you know, enjoy the hobby. And I want to put that money that I do make back into y'all. And I have decided that now, since I have hit 1100, that my next contest will be at 1250, and that would be the halfway mark between the 1000 and 1500 mark. So so yeah, y'all should be looking forward to that. So yeah, 1250 is when I will hold my next contest. I'm not sure what the prizes are going to be yet, but something to look forward to. So, all right, well, other than that, I'm going to let y'all have at it. Thank y'all again for watching, and y'all be safe out there, and happy railroading.